While half the world has moved on from Gaza, while Arab capitals are cutting ribbons and shaking hands with Israeli officials like nothing happened, one man who isn't even Muslim just won't let it go. His name is Pope Leo XIV, and this week he did it again.
Ma lì bisogna fare un nuovo appello per il rispetto per i diritti umani di tutti. Purtroppo il popolo di Gaza non riceve ancora gli aiuti umanitari. Questo sta provocando proteste, difficoltà, anche l'azione di quelli che hanno partecipato nella flottiglia. Io vorrei rinnovare anche questo, non solo invito, appello veramente a dire a tutte le autorità ad assistere e accompagnare il popolo di Gaza, aiutare già a cominciare a ricostruire, però il popolo sta soffrendo veramente ancora.
Pope Leo XIV is appealing to authorities around the world to support the people of Gaza and help begin reconstruction. He said in his own words that the people there are still suffering greatly, not were suffering like the sold-out Western media wants you to believe. They are still suffering, present tense. And this isn't the first time. Go back to May, outside Castel Gandolfo, talking to journalists, the Pope renewed his appeal for humanitarian aid, warned the world against using AI in warfare with no regard for human life, and even spoke about ongoing dialogue with Anthropic, the AI company, on exactly that danger. Now here's what makes this genuinely remarkable. This isn't a man who spoke once and went quiet. Trump himself came after him, called him weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy, told him to stop being a politician and focus on being a great pope. And Leo's response? He said that he has no fear of the Trump administration or of speaking out. A sitting American president publicly attacking the Pope, the leader of over 1 billion Catholics, for caring too loudly about Gaza. And the Pope didn't fold. He didn't soften his language. He came right back with an appeal for reconstruction. And that's the beauty of it, honestly. Pope doesn't share the faith of Gazans. He doesn't know about the hadith, which makes it obligatory for a fellow Muslim to be concerned about the other Muslim. He doesn't know that showing mercy is an obligation on all Muslims. Yet here he is, disturbed, restless, unable to look away from what's happening to Gazans, because he is applying the value of compassion and care for human life, which Muslim leaders are unable to do. And here's the part that really matters. His call for reconstruction is proof he understands something most of the world's media won't say out loud. This ceasefire is not peace. You don't call for rebuilding a place that's already safe. Since this ceasefire supposedly began, over 1,200 Palestinians have been unalived. UNICEF has documented roughly 300 children deaths in 300 days. That's not a ceasefire holding. That's a slow-motion continuation, just with better PR. Now compare that to our own so-called leaders. Arab and Muslim governments lining up to declare the war over, shaking hands, signing deals, normalizing ties, while their own people are still being buried under rubble. Zero urgency, zero sympathy on camera. A non-Muslim pope is doing more public advocacy for Gaza than half the Muslim world's rulers combined. The Prophet ﷺ himself praised a pact for justice made by people who didn't share his faith, because standing for the oppressed was the point, not who was standing. O you who believe, be steadfast in maintaining justice. So when we see the Pope refuse to be silenced and Muslim rulers stay comfortably quiet, ask yourself who's actually closer to this ayah right now. Gaza doesn't need our applause for anyone. It needs pressure to keep building until every tent becomes a home again. Keep that appeal in your supplications and keep asking your own leaders why a man of a different faith had to say what they wouldn't. If this reached you, share it. Someone needs the reminder that Gaza is still suffering, ceasefire or not. Follow our channel for more, and don't forget the oppressed ones in your prayers tonight.